Guys and dolls. So it's Friday morning, and just gonna bring you a wee video. So I am. I actually picked this up from Rotten Politics. I'll stick the link in the bio. Just anybody that can't like anybody that's just using watching my. I'm starting to work out that people just watch it on TV. So I'm also gonna put up so you can see what you're looking for. If you can't hit the link. So this is the guy here. Brilliant channel. Absolutely brilliant channel. So how do we look at it? So that I went in and basically I seen he done a clip on it. If you go to his channel, you'll see it. And I thought I'm going to cover this. So I'm going to give him credit. Where it's due, 100%. You know what I mean? But what I'm going to basically, as I'm saying about the establishment, and you look into people, and they're all coming out of the woodwork right now. And I always say, pay attention to the ones that are coming out. I said when it's times of battles when you discover your enemies, you mind, So, we've got a character here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to play a wee bit of, just give you a wee bit of substance, just a wee bit at the start. Um, and we've got this. Sorry, I forgot her name. You can go on to you can watch it. The Piers Morgan hanging. You know what I mean? I struggle to watch it, guys. I struggle to watch the stuff that comes out. It's good whenever Peterson went on and basically told him what was up. I mean, what was down. You know, and it was good to have somebody come on and actually tell Piers Morgan, like, you're talking shit, mate. You know what I mean? Everybody knows you're talking shit. It's getting a wee bit embarrassing. More or less, didn't say that, like, but that's what I took from it. But you know, this is the problem, guys. It's like it's quite remarkable. I'm going to play the clip and I'm going to jump in here and there just to point a couple of things out. Yeah, and because I know you'll be thinking it, so I'm going to say it. So we're all sitting here going, right, it's not just me. I'm no this, I'm no that, I'm no losing it. You know what I mean? Jeez, oh, here it is.
That is the mainstream culture, and it's certainly
Well,
the
well, no. To
mainstream
be
culture
clear,
when you're saying at an
to be
institutional
clear,
level for police
no, but to be
officers to be
clear,
covering it up.
they were all almost exclusively members of the British Pakistani Muslim community. So that is a small number of the general Muslim population, very small actually. And so it's not pertinent to say it was a Muslim cultural problem, this scandal. It was a cultural problem amongst British Pakistani men.
So the girl's called Natalie Winters, American YouTuber, commentator, and I'm just jumping in here because I'm going to explain what Piers Morgan's talking about. It's nuts. So these guys have got British citizenship, you know, that's why they're British, but they came into this country from Pakistan, quite a lot of them, as far as I believe. Oh, you know what I mean? It's like they would find some way to twist it. You know what I mean? So this is for entertainment and educational purposes, and it's my opinion and my opinion only of how I see the world through the eyes of a guy who's been through care and spent most of his life in prison because the government absolutely took my life.
Exclusively.
I don't necessarily know if that framing is correct. I also
It is
think there's
correct.
a racial element to it.
It is
Well,
correct.
I think if you want to have the uncomfortable conversation about Islam, it is sort of conducive to pedophilia. I mean, I don't necessarily think that you can reduce it to the idea that, oh, well, just because they happen to be, Pakistani
What planet are
British
you living
men.
on?
So this lovely guy is Jack Sims, and Jack Symes, and I don't know, guys. I don't know. I think these are all good at reading people straight away. You can see like one of Piers Morgan's mates. These are the big guns that are getting brought out. These are the people that are getting brought out now to ridicule anybody that's talking about the actual facts. That's what's going on in this country. You see, Nobody's thinking about the children. Nobody in this show, apart from Miss American, is thinking about the girls. I've done videos on what they go through, how it feels. You know, we're talking hundreds of thousands of girls. It's 50 cities. And then we've got this.
Ask her again about the white school shooting. She
Where I
didn't
read
answer
the
that
Quran.
question.
It's nice to have a conspiracy theorist on the line. It's always good fun. I hate to pull rank at you and sound like a twat, but
Not a
both of my
conspiracy
PhDs
theory,
are in
it's
philosophy
called
of
the
religion, and
Quran.
I think I'm slightly more qualified to speak about the Quran than you are, and to suggest even for a moment that that document allows for, what it does is condemn non-consensual marriage and non-consensual sexual contact.
Uh, see how straight away we're talking about stuff that's got absolutely nothing to do with child abuse. It's got nothing to do with what's actually going on and what the real issues are in this country. It's quite remarkable how these men can twist and turn and try and make things out in a different light to what we all know and see blatantly in front of our eyes. And this is, the Labour government will say to you that, Elon Musk is misinformation and all that, and, he's really bad, but he's telling the truth. You understand? He's telling the truth. But you see, there is misinformation, and it's only coming from the left. And this is a prime example. You heard that other character in the background. It's going on about white. See the way they bring colour into it? You know, she's like shouting, "What about the white shooters?" It's like, fucking, what?
Like,
Well, I'd look up the
what
rates of
book
child brides then, and I'd see
the
what
real risk
countries
you
they're
have in
most
the US
prevalent
isn't
in.
multiculturalism. It's a multi-billionaire running the biggest social media planet, one of the biggest in the world, which has turned into an echo chamber of your ridiculous ideology. And
So I know how angry yous are probably getting right now, so I'm just going to cut in here and just let you know, yes, I feel your anger. It's got, what has Elon Musk got to do? This has been going on for 15, 20 years. Elon Musk's only had X for, what, a year or so? What, what I mean? How can he blame everything that's going on in our country? Everything that we see and how the country's suffering on Elon Musk? This is Piers Morgan's mate.
the fact that you're telling us all and telling the British public, who we're proudly multicultural, and as someone that was brought up in multicultural working class Birmingham.
Okay, right. I haven't really done my homework on this character, right? But I can tell you now, this guy is not working class. This guy has no idea anything about working class. Maybe his dad was working class or his mum was working class, and then done well for themselves and had a child and brought him up, but he is not working class. But this is another thing. This is them trying to put conviction, put convincing, like trying to pull the wool over everybody's eyes. You get me? Pretending to be us, pretending to be working class. You understand? Stormer done as well. I'm a toolmaker's son. They all try to make themselves out to be working class. Now, when a man makes him out to be somebody that he's not, then he's pulling the wool over your eyes. Why are they lying to you? You always got to ask that. Why would this person turn around and make himself out to be working class when really he's not? It's you straight away. There's proof that he isn't being honest.
I can tell you for sure that there's not you won't find a Muslim there who's read the Quran and went, oh, you know what? It didn't rule out sexual violence, so I might just crack on with that. I don't know what planet you're living on or what you're smoking, but I'd suggest that you do a course in religious studies before you start chatting.
Well,
Kind of
thank you
shit
for
that
the
you're
ad
on.
hominem.
So apart from the total disrespect this man has for this woman and the pure condensation, is if that's the right word, on in his voice, that smirk on his face, What a horrible human being. Can you understand when you can read a book by its cover sometimes? You know, you wouldn't need to be in this guy's company very long before you would know this guy's nothing but a snake. And obviously, you know, I reckon there's a lot more to this guy than meets the eye. And there's a reason why he's sitting in that chair speaking like this, you know? There's a reason for it, guys. And there's probably things, you know, things are very dark in this country, so they are. Believe you me, you know, very, very dark. And you've always got to question these people that are coming out and speaking like this whenever they should be speaking for the survivors and for the victims that aren't survivors yet. I'm going to hand the floor over to this fine lady because she came with facts.
Attacks. I'm sure that means you have a really strong argument, but I think the young working class girls who probably grew up in the same areas that you did would beg to differ. I don't understand what you're saying. I've read the Quran. I've seen what's in there. Even if you don't think that my interpretation of the Quran is correct, I would point you to, I don't know, what countries have the most issues when it comes to child brides and raping of young girls and children. It's obviously a systemic cultural problem with Islam. It's not a problem that is contained or unique to the West. And I don't know, last time I checked, this whole grooming gang phenomenon is what contained primarily to Muslim men, and it really only started when you started seeing mass migration waves.
I just think this is so dangerous. This is so dangerous what you're saying. I mean, can we? Okay, so in the United Kingdom, 1 in 3 school children.
I think it's dangerous to be importing men from cultures who are willing to rape young women.
Okay, so 1 in.
Sorry, guys, I can't put you any more on that. You know, so see, the problem we have. This is a problem we have, and this is a problem we have been having. As soon as anybody tries to talk about the actual issues and the problems going on in Great Britain today, they get shut down. And like I've had problems before on TikTok trying to talk to Muslims, like, and you know, like man to man, like moderate Muslims that I could that would be friends, you know what I mean? And you know, it's just to try and get an understanding of how they feel and what they're doing about extremism in their areas and stuff. You know what I mean? It's just like if it was the IRA, I would talk to Catholics in Catholic areas about, you know, how they would deal with it. But every time I tried to do that, I would be shut down by somebody that was British, or like a white British Christian. It never made any sense. It was like, I'm just trying to have a conversation that needs to be had because our children are suffering in this country. You know, and at the end of the day, there's a lot of, I wouldn't say big guns, but there's a lot of voices coming out right now that the establishment are fighting really hard to bury the news, basically. And it's up to us to keep it going, guys. It's up to you to keep it going. Um, because the establishment are going to bury it, just like they did the last time. Shock horror, you know, 1,400 girls. You know, this is the headlines. I can remember it back 10 years ago. 10 years ago, it was. I'm sure it was Rochdale. And yeah, shock horror. And I got lasted 24 hours that time because we didn't have Elon Musk jumping on it, you know, and Elon Musk has helped this country out this time and highlighted it the way it should be. And, you know, you can see the rhetoric coming from everybody that for some reason doesn't give a damn about our kids, does not care. There's something more important to them than our children, our young working class kids, our most vulnerable children in our country. And you can hear the nonsense coming from these people, you know, constantly defending, constantly making excuses, you know, major big platforms like Piers Morgan. And they are saying Elon Musk is delivering misinformation. I think it's obvious to everybody who delivering misinformation in this country, and it's Labour Party and the far left, you know. And we need to pay close attention. I keep saying this, you know, pay close attention because everybody you see coming out right now, you know, they're coming out, they're showing themselves, you know. You'll all understand, hopefully one day when there's a massive inquiry about what's going on, when Piers Morgan's held accountable for all the things that he said on his show and all the things that he never said, you know, when it takes people like Peterson to come on, and he sits there, you know, he sits there. I'll show you a clip.
National inquiry to get to the bottom of it. So that's where I sit with Robinson.
Yeah, well, I've been following the rape gang scandal for, I would say, 15 years, but the primary source of information for me in Canada has been Tommy Robinson, and his insistence on pursuing this come what may was part of the reason that I looked into it. And I think that's probably the case for Elon Musk as well. And it's an open question how much of a monster you have to be to shrug off all the accusations and the reputation savaging and to put and the threats to your own existence and to your family's existence to sally forth regardless and bring these issues to public attention, over a decade, let's say. And, it might be wonderful for us to presume that the person who does that would also be of unimpeachable ethical character on all dimensions simultaneously. But we've seen the silence of people with unimpeachable characters in the face of this onslaught, and it doesn't bode well for them. So, and then the other thing I would say too, this isn't exactly in defense of Robinson. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to weave my way through this. But there's another ugly issue here, Pierce, that no one will grapple with, which is, you described Robinson as anti-Muslim, let's say. Well, we don't really understand the relationship between the religious doctrine, let's say, and the fact of these crimes. Now, I want to make two cases here. The first case is that 40 out of 50 Muslim majority countries in the world are authoritarian hellholes, and only 3 of them are democracies. And that's Morocco, Indonesia, and Turkey. And, they're not, I wouldn't put them in the highest echelons of stellar states. And so why is that exactly? Is that a deviation from Islamic principles, or is it a consequence of them? Now, no one wants to have that discussion, and it's no bloody wonder. And then, so that's on the negative side, let's say. And there are certainly doctrines in Islam that are very, very difficult to square with free, liberal, Western, Christian democracies. And those differences aren't just apparent, they're deep. Now, I would say on the optimistic side that we could turn to Islamic leaders like those who run the United Arab Emirates, and even to some degree now Saudi Arabia, and the signatories of the Abraham Accords, to find a different pathway. There have been stellar leaders, both from Saudi Arabia and the UAE, who've come out and said that publicly, very publicly, that they've got their Islamic fundamentalists under control and firmly in hand, and are completely undiluted as to their danger. But Europeans are virtue signaling so hard on the progressive side that the fundamental danger from Islamic fundamentalism is going to come from Europe and the UK and not from the Arab states.
So here we have a man so intelligent, I'd love to be able to speak like him, and we don't have many people like that, Tommy Robinson, obviously, and, he gets silenced, Piers Morgan would never sit there and be quiet, and, he would have butted in and, and stuff like that, and it's a shame that, it's taken people from around the world to come on and embarrass these people like Piers Morgan, because it's an embarrassment. You see how Piers Morgan gets on with everyone else, and and then he just sits there because that's a real man he's up against. You see, that's why he won't let Tommy Robinson on, because Tommy Robinson will humiliate him. And it's very cowardice when you're going to talk about a man the way he does, and then refuse to have him on to rebuttal it all. Then that's just a card, guys. You know what I mean? It's you know shame on him. And this is the thing. You know what I mean? I keep saying this. They're all they don't care because of the climate right now. But the climate's going to change. You see, and all these videos and all these attitudes and the way Piers Morgan has behaved. Going right back to with Bailey and going right back with Tommy and all the things he's done, the attack on us and the silence and the way he's behaved. Never ever considering the thousands upon thousands of girls and boys that have been affected because of men who have came into this country. Whether they're, you know, there's no two ways about it. Men are coming into this country and abusing our children and abusing women. There's no two ways about it. And yes, we have men that do it as well. Of course we do. It's Britain. You're going to get British men that commit crimes against women. No two ways about it. But when you look at the percentages, it's unbelievable. If it was the other way around and this was happening in another country and it was British people, God knows what would happen to them. They certainly wouldn't be in that country for long. And this is the whole point. We just want to protect our children, you know, and we have people like Piers Morgan doing the opposite. And we'll never forget, guys. We will never forget, you know. Gonna bring an wee video so well this afternoon. I should have done it a couple of days ago. I'm really pissed off myself whenever. So it's a guy that's on YouTube that you're gonna love. You know what I mean? So he's just brought a he's bringing a three-parter out. So he's done two already, and they're really good. So I'm gonna bring a couple of clips of them, obviously with the link in the description, blah blah blah, and then you can jump onto his channel, give him some love and that. You know what I mean? Because he is really really good. So I'm not no spoiler alerts. I'll bring it these this afternoon, and then you can look forward to having a look at some of his stuff. And because he speaks a lot better than me, he comes a lot better than me. And this is what it's about. You know what I mean? I'm not the greatest voice in the world, and I know you all love me to bits, and I love that. I so much respect these guys. You know what I mean? But in reality, you know what I mean? Let's be honest. So I always want to try and promote and point people in other directions as well, so these people get a voice. That's more important to me. You know what I mean? When I see young men like this working so hard and putting so much out there and taking the chances and the risks, because it's not easy. It's not easy, guys. Um, we've got to give these guys love. So I'll bring out this afternoon. And he's a look for. I promise this is a wee gem. This is a gem. So all my love and God bless everyone he is.